All right, everybody, welcome into the Mainline Sports Bar here at Oaklawn. Very excited to go and get into our post-game thoughts of the Arkansas-Tennessee game. On the road, Arkansas falls 31-34. Great effort. But we're going to start talking about more losses. Are we with them or not? Guess we're going to talk all about it. Once again, welcome into 4th and 5. You see the whole crew is here. We got Grant Cook, we got Josh Throne, and we got myself, DJ Williams, your host here. It's been such a fun ride. A lot to talk about here today. We've already went through the tape, and I'll tell you the breakdown. We're going to have that here in just a second, let you know the lineup. The crew is going to let you know what they have for you playing later this week. Matt Harris, he can't join us today, but make sure you stay tuned Thursday for that. We'll give you a tease of what we got coming up as far as Matt Harris is concerned. But here we go, fellas. We've got our first taste of Bobby Petrino back at the helm as the head coach at the University of Arkansas. Real quick, I want to know your thoughts when it came to the performance of what you saw. Are you worried? Are you a little bit more optimistic? Or are we about where we were last time when we left off with the Hogs? Grant, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Well, I know where Josh is. He was sending us the Bobby Petrino magic text messages during the game, but I'll say I'm probably a little bit more optimistic coming out of the Tennessee game than I was maybe going into it. And I think what it is that attention to detail, the effort. He seemed to kind of squeeze all the juice that he could out of the players on Saturday. Now, there's still some things, and we'll get into them. You'll get into some tonight and the rest of the breakdowns through the week that we got to sure up. And it is a little bit more attention to detail. We got to fine-tune a few things to give ourselves a chance. But overall, more optimistic sitting here today than I probably was Friday.
All right, Josh, let's get to it. You've been Mr. Optimistic. And like I said, yes, we got your text messages, but as you should be. I mean, outside of that Notre Dame game, Arkansas gave us every reason to believe that they could compete with Tennessee. What were your thoughts on that matchup down in Knoxville?
Well, I think it was, basically the story of Arkansas Razorback football season 2025 is we were this close once again. I like the fact that we were ready to play. I like the fact that you kind of got back to seeing, the talented Arkansas Razorback team that went into Ole Miss and played it down to the wire. You saw that again going over to Tennessee and doing it. Did we really expect Bobby Petrino to go in there and come out with some blowout victory? No, we knew if he's going to win, if the Razorbacks are going to win, it'd be a close game. I've seen Razorback fans kind of talk about DJ Grant. You probably heard some of this too. Are we the typical Arkansas Razorback fans that are just happy that we're competing and still losing? Or do we want to hold them to a standard of wanting to win and needing to see victories? And I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's all of our standard is we want to win. We want to have a victory at the end of the day, regardless if it's going in to Tennessee or if it's going over to Ole Miss. But at the same time, we've all played football. And anybody who's been around the game of football, you saw a team that completely bailed out on their coach 2 weeks ago against Notre Dame. So to see Bobby Petrino step in mid-season and have all these different mid-season challenges of wrangling your roster back together and then come out and putting together a performance of 31-34 in Tennessee, I can't say that I'm looking at that as a negative on his coaching resume so far. It is his first week being able to do that versus Tennessee. But at the same time, guys, I still think, we all want to hold the expectation of victory being the goal.
So the thing is, how did he do? And we had some comments pop up in our post game I thought were actually really interesting when it comes to coaching decisions. The difference between Coach Petrino and Coach Pittman. It really came on those fourth downs. We went for it on 4th and 1 early in the game. I believe it was maybe the first drive in a position in a spot of the field where if we didn't get it, it would have been some big time trouble. Coach Petrino, as he would always say, we didn't come to paint. And then we get the first down. We're going to talk about that play and show that play here in just a second. The other one that kind of popped up, which a lot of people are back and forth with, is the 4th and 4 later in the game. I saw somebody put a comment on our post-game show, and they were saying, this is what I don't like about coaches essentially auditioning for the job because they start taking these unnecessary risks when you should have just took the points. All right. So we're going to talk about that play. But before we talk about that play, I'm going to show you all the play, our first little one play breakdown, because I want your opinion from it. But here's what Coach Petrino had to say about going for it on 4th and 4.
3, I think. Yeah, we went into the game saying, hey, man, we're going to be real aggressive. We're going to have to go score points. And, you know, it worked in the 4th and 1. That's where I felt like, oh, my gosh, am I really doing this, you know, going for it on 4th and 1. But they did our O-line and Talon did a great job on that one. And I thought we had the call for the last one. And Braylon Sharp was wide open, and we chose to go to the other side. So that, you know, sometimes you pick the wrong side, and on that one we did.
Pick the wrong side, and I got that play dialed up for y'all right.
Grant, looks like DJ's we lost him somehow. I don't know how.
Dude, I am wide open. I am wide open.
We have a little bit of a technical difficulty going down right now at Oaklawn. It seems to be that's the case, unfortunately.
3, I think. Yeah, we went into the game saying, hey, man, we're going to be real aggressive.
Let's see here.
DJ, are you with us?
Come on, DJ. Bring us back.
Jeez Louise.
There he is. There he is.
Gremlins in the system. Thanks for holding it down. Did y'all talk about something good while I was gone?
No, we really.
Yeah, I said, I'm wide open. You should have came to my side.
All right, now I'm going to pick up where I left off. So you heard Coach Petrino about that play. And I'm about to show you all the play right now because I want your opinion. But you said we had a guy wide open. But, Grant, we talked about this going into it, the circumstance of the game. What was your thought of him going for it on 4th and 4, and was it the right decision?
You know, I think looking at it, hindsight's always 20/20. Of course, now you want to go back and kick the field goal because you know you only lost by 3. But I think in the circumstances of the game, you know you're going against the number 1 scoring offense in the country. And field goals, you can't trade field goals for touchdowns. And getting in the flow of the game, I mean, it's hard to make those decisions in the middle. But I think based on what we knew at this point, it's 17-20, we know we need to go score a touchdown. So I don't hate the call. I mean, I can understand where maybe it's like, yeah, it's a little ballsy maybe. But I think based on what we knew in the moment, you kind of said, all right, we got to let it all hang out to go beat this team. So I'm good with it.
Man, you know, I think you get into the analytics of things, and I know Bobby Petrino was talking about this, where like what the analytics say about you should go for it and you shouldn't go for it. But what we were talking about over the past few weeks is not being aggressive enough. And it's like we were playing scared constantly against teams that are what you would call heavy hitters better than us. So, you know, we were successful with that 4th down earlier in the game. And I liked that. I called that out when I was watching the game. Like, look, man, this is the difference right here of Petrino being the head coach. He's not going to let that early game momentum get slowed down versus I think where Pittman was kind of just always playing a little bit scared. But then there's the flip side of the coin right here. Look, if your mind is made up, to me, it's like playing blackjack, and you decide before the game, are you going for it on 16s or are you not going for it? But you better be consistent. I kind of think that you got to play that way because you don't want to be coming into these situations iffy about it. I mean, look at the field position. We're on our 25 right now, or they're 25. I'm sorry.
You're looking at a 42-yard field goal.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. And in hindsight, yes, I wish we would have had that field goal, but you can always play football like that. You know, hindsight's the best way to play football.
Yep.
In this particular situation, you got Talon Green, you got these guys on the ropes. Man, you want to be able to get this. And he was getting it a lot on his feet. So I'm not going to look at this play and be upset with Petrino for being aggressive and playing aggressive. He wants to win. At least want to go down swinging.
I think I'm not mad about the decision. I'll be just the spirit of the moment. Hey, let's give it a shot. Coach Petrino does his homework. He see, which we saw on tape, and I'll show this in the breakdown. They show their hand a lot throughout past film of knowing if we're in a circumstance in our game, they're probably going to give us what we want, okay? So he knew going into the situation he'd have the right play call based off the look, and you always got to know 2 timeouts here. He could take a timeout if they came out in an unfamiliar look. So I'm all for it. And you heard what he said in the press conference. We had a guy wide open. This is going to be very tough to watch for some Razorback fans because you're going to be like, oh, my gosh. But let's go ahead and run through it real quick. So here's the play. Once again, if they kick this right now, it'd be about a 42-yard field goal from where the snap and the hold would be, plus the 10 yards in the end zone. Get a situation. Talon starts scrambling around. But you heard him say earlier that Raylan Sharp is wide open. All right. So the thing is, I think Coach Petrino did a really good job of not throwing his player under the bus. Okay. You heard him in that comment say, sometimes you just got to pick the right side, and we just picked the wrong side. I think pre-snap recognition would at least point you in the right direction to start with. And so what Tennessee is doing right here, they're man-to-man to the field. That's the wide side of the field. You see down here is what is called the boundary. They're going to be in some type of zone, okay? That's what they show on tape, okay? So you got man-to-man, and then you have the boundary, okay? So if it were me, I'm going to be a man-to-man side based off the route combination. But let's go ahead and take a look at what Talon's looking at. See right here. See that man-to-man? Since they're so close and they have this mesh route, it creates an easy kind of a unintentional pick play that's not illegal from this right here. That's where I think Talon should have took his eyes to first based off the coverage alone. You can see Raylan Sharp, as Coach Petrino said, wide open. If we get this, everybody thinks, Petrino's so brilliant. The play call was there. That's why I don't think this is a bad call at all. Now we're going to run it back. Now, this is what's interesting sometimes with me when it comes to Talon Green. Sometimes he's on fire. Sometimes he makes some questionable decisions. Let's go to the field side. He's looking at him, and the thing about it is it's there. I don't know what's making him hold this ball. That's very so when the right play call is called and you put the ball into your playmaker's hands, all he has to do is release this, and it's a first down. Even though I think he picked the wrong side, and I think as you roll over, he looks to the middle of the field. I think he was worried about that linebacker, and I think in these situations, Talon just needs to remember it's fourth down. If it's a pick, it's a pick. I mean, I have to get this, so go ahead and take the risks. I'm not sure what made him hold on to that ball, because even in this freeze frame right here, I'm looking at it, fellas, and every reason to continue to throw this ball. All right, so when it comes to the play call, I thought it was the right call. I thought it was good. It was just poor execution, as Coach Petrino pointed out a little bit earlier as well. So that's my 2 cents on that fourth down. However, we talked about him deciding to go for it on that 4th and 1. I think there was a noticeable difference of having Coach Petrino prepare these guys for the past 2 weeks opposed to when Coach Pittman was at the helm. Now, it sounds like that's a knock on Coach Pittman, but it's hard not to see that these guys came out and played different. Before I get your 2 cents on that, I like to show plays. How many times did we see, as soon as the ball gets past our defensive line, they shut down? Where I was like, why are they not running to the ball? Why are they not running to the ball? I think that starts in practice. And you better believe Coach Petrino brought it up in practice. Go ahead and take a look at this play right here. Let me make this full screen for you. That's Quincy Rhodes Jr., highlighted. He's going to be on the backside of this run right here. Now, he does a great job making sure he has to play this read option. He's there if the quarterback decides to take it, okay? This linebacker needs to be more physical for sure. But watch Quincy right here, chasing this all the way down from the backside and being the guy to make the tackle. I think 2 weeks ago, he sits there and watches this play. That lets you know what's happening in practice. Very impressive. Now, we'll talk about Caleb Wooden open field tackling. We got to figure that out. We'll talk about Connie Walker wanting to be physical and making a tackle. We'll talk about that. And once again, taking shots. This DB right here, stop watching other people make the play. Get in there and make something happen. But, fellas, are y'all with me on the same standpoint of understanding that that's a direct product and I would say, something that happens now that Coach Petrino is the head coach?
Yeah, DJ, I was listening to some post-game press conference, and one of the players, I can't remember which one on the defensive side of the ball, but he was talking about what's changed so far defensively. They were talking about how they've mapped out practice, this, that, and the third. But one thing he said in practice has changed is that Petrino's implemented a new rule kind of called tap the hat. I don't know if y'all heard that, but basically every single defender needs to go get to the ball or go get to the other defender who made the play and go tap his hat. So what Petrino is trying to do is force everyone to continue to run and hustle to the ball and to the play. And he said that's really important. So, when you see this playing over into the game, it does give you at least a little bit of boost of confidence that the guys are buying into what Petrino is coaching, how he's wanting them to coach or how he's wanting them to play during the week, and that's playing over on a Saturday. I am glad that we do have that kind of effort out of the team, because I think that that a lot of the times the plays were ending up breaking away because we had guys giving up.
Grant, you already know how Coach P is at practice. Different tone for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that we've talked about it several times already in different segments. Practice is the hardest part of the week. I mean, it was absolutely brutal in some of those practices, even mid-year. And so Saturdays are the easy part, and I think it's by design that it's made that way. And so I love to hear that they've got this kind of new thing going on the defense. I do know that when we played for Coach Petrino, he made everyone run to the ball. If you're an offensive lineman, a receiver, a running back, whatever it was, everyone broke and started running to the ball. I'm glad to hear that that's the case on defense. In my breakdown that'll come out tomorrow around the offensive line and some of what Tennessee did on defense, I highlighted Tennessee defensive lineman that comes in and absolutely chases down Mike Washington from behind, and I talk about how that's what it takes to win games. And so you can see when there he is right there, number 42. He comes from the left or the right defensive end position and chases him all the way down the field and prevents a touchdown. Mike Washington was going to score a touchdown on that play had he not had that effort. And so I love that is the case with Coach Petrino. So the two things that I think showed up on Saturday were details. We paid attention to the details. Didn't get everything right, but we paid attention to the details, and we played with tremendous effort. And so those are the two things that I think really come together when you think Coach Petrino. It is everything matters, even the small stuff, and we are going to play as hard as we possibly can play for whatever snaps you're on the field. And in 2 weeks, we saw it.
You got a little sneak peek of what Grant has coming up this week. That'll be Tuesday on Let Grant Cook as he breaks down the trench play. Some good plays and some not so good plays. We'll talk more about that. All right, so Matt's not here, but I'm going to let you know what he has on tap for everybody this week. Is going to be Grant stuff. We'll talk about Grant here in a second. Grant Cook, let Grant the offensive line stuff. Now we're cooking. Coming up Thursday, Matt Harris is going to have Getting Defensive with Matt Harris. A lot of things to talk about on that defensive side of the ball that they have to get figured out. The thing about Matt, man, he's passionate. He was texting us the entire game saying, I want to talk about that play. I need to talk about this play. I want to talk about that play. I was like, Matt, just send us like one message at the end of the game and we'll get you taken care of. So that's going to be coming up Thursday on our Getting Defensive with Matt Harris. Now, it is a big one. As much as we're going to backtrack of the things that are to come, we always have to look forward. And that's where my guy himself, Josh Throne, comes into the picture. Josh, what you got coming up for us this week, man?
Man, later on this week, after Matt's Getting Defensive on Friday, we will have a Scout 'em Up segment where we'll be talking about Petrino's old school. Man, I don't know how many times in college this has actually happened where a coach is going back like literally a year, 2 years later and playing his previous school. But in the SEC, it's a big deal. So we're going to be talking about that because just yesterday or maybe even earlier today, Petrino was talking about a bunch of the players on that defensive line being there back when he coached. Well, he says that defensive line is one of the better ones in the SEC. So I'm sure he will be game planning for them. So we'll have everything you need to know in a snapshot of Texas A&M versus Arkansas leading up into Saturday's game. Looking forward to it.
I like it, man. We're looking forward to it as well. So that's what we have for you this week. I'm about to go ahead and get into my breakdown. Very, very interesting film that I broke down this week. But before I let you go, fellas, it's Monday Night Football, all right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the board, what is on the board. We got our crew picks. Up first, who is it? Yours truly. I'm going with the Bills tonight. Josh Allen and the crew. I'm believing that's what we're going to be rocking with. I'm taking them. They're the favorite, 3.5-point favorite. And then the Bears, but I need some points. I need some points on this one, all right? So do I think the Bears are going to win? Not necessarily, but I think they potentially keep this thing somewhat close. Up next, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let Grant Cook, the chef himself. Grant, you and me kind of on the same page. What were your thoughts going into this game?
Yeah, I think, Buffalo kind of hit a little bit of a skid here recently, lost their first game, but I think they probably bounce back tonight. Monday Night Football, the brightest lights of them all. And then the Bears been playing well. They've been playing well here recently, and I think, some hurt folks on the other side of the ball for them. So we'll see. I do need some points, man. I don't know about them winning outright, so I'm not money lining this thing, but I will take the points.
Smart man right there. Up next, Matt, he's with us. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. We're all on the same page. What are the odds that Josh is with us? or he goes against the ground. Let's take a look. Two, Josh, you with us on this
I'm
one?
with you. I'm with you,
Wow,
DJ.
that's a first. What is happening?
I'm with you.
I did not expect that. Thoughts behind this?
Man, Josh Allen's a great quarterback. You know,
Yeah.
Bears are still trying to figure it out. That's where we're at. That's where we've been at for the past like 10 years.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that's going to be coming up. I'm pumped up about that, fellas. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Y'all have a great night. Grant, once again, we'll see him tomorrow morning. And I'm coming up early for the Texas A&M game. All right. And the cool thing about it, this will be the first time, if you're up in Fayetteville, if you want to hang out with us, we'll be at the Alumni House 2 hours before kickoff. Matt Harris will actually be with us in person for the first time this year. So I'm very excited about that. So, fellas, the whole crew will be there, and we're going to play Bago again, and I promise we'll get the camera situated this time, all right? That was my fault. You got to learn from our mistakes and move forward. All right, fellas, y'all have a good night.
All right, DJ.
Let me get them up out of here. There's Grant, and there's Josh, and now it's time to go ahead and get to the breakdown, all right? So, like I said, a lot of things popped up on tape that we have to get figured out. Some decently good, some not so good. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So we just finished with that play. And I'll say this, after watching the tape, I am a little bit more encouraged. I'm not a big moral victory type guy, but the thing that I saw on tape that we're about to go through, so many missed opportunities. I think Arkansas should have won this game by a few possessions. Yes, a few possessions. Rather that's, 10 points, maybe 13, if not 2 touchdowns. So much left out on that field. Which I know when they go back and watch it, it's going to make them mad, but also let them know we're actually good enough to go on the road against one of the top teams in the country, and we should have won. They needed a big confidence boost, and I think maybe that can give them a little bit. And I know Coach Petrino is going to say, now put that to the side because we got a much tougher opponent. The good thing about it is Coach Petrino, I heard him talk today about Texas A&M. He is very familiar with a lot of those guys, and their star quarterback was a redshirt freshman when Coach Petrino was the quarterback coach there. And the thing about him, as nice as Coach Petrino is, he knows that guy's weaknesses and he will exploit them. And so that you have to see some type of edge in that. So let's go ahead and take a look into this breakdown. Once again, that was the 4th and 4 that we didn't get it. Let's move along. And you guys, I really like the way that we kind of started off, even though we had a bad first play. But what I saw is that Tennessee, they did their homework, y'all. How often did we open up a game with a shallow route, whether it was to Raylan Sharp? Most of the time it is with Omega Blake. And I think Coach Petrino, the reason he likes to do that is let Talon get comfortable, okay? He likes these shallow routes. Talon, take your time. You're going to be protected. Get the ball out. However, Tennessee, they did their homework and almost knew exactly what we wanted to run on the first play. Omega Blake is supposed to come over here. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody. There we go. As you can see on the wide side of the field, watch this defensive end. You see this defensive end right here? You would think he'd be a part of the pass rush. I've never seen this before. That's knowing what the play is. He turns and looks for the receiver, okay? He's letting Coach Petrino know, hey, we do our homework over here too. We know what you like to do to get Talon comfortable. We're going to take away those options and make him make some more decisions later down the field. So sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due. Great play call. I'd like to see things switched up a little bit. Talon's like, my guy's not there. Ends up taking a sack. Actually had fine protection. All right, let's go and get to the next play. And this is what they also did. They said, Talon, we're going to make you think about it. Notre Dame did a really good job playing the read option. Tennessee, not so good. Tennessee thinks they're a good defense, but they're not, okay? So Talon did a good job for the most part of this game, making the right decision. This guy is accounting for Talon. Great handoff. And I can't talk enough about Mike Washington, man. That guy's special. Very excited to see what he does the remainder of the year. Here's a 3rd down that we ended up getting short. And this is where, like, Talon, he makes some throws where I'm just like, wow, that guy is so special. But this game, he kind of reverted a little bit to the old Talon of holding on to the ball just a little bit. But I'm going to show you when we always say, like, football, like, is a game of inches. And, like, the smallest thing can throw timing off, especially in the SEC because the windows get so close. Look when we snap the ball here. It's a little bit fumble of the snap. This may affect the play by half of a second. But in this type of league, half of a second matters. So Talon, he's a little bit slow getting this out. He takes one hitch. The ball should already be in the air. Already be in the air. Now, I don't know if it's because he's fumbled it a little bit, or is he getting back to where he's holding it on to it just a little bit too long? But the difference between that is Omega catches it now and has a chance to try to push back and get this first down. That small little fumble gets them at that 4th and 1 mark and not a first down. And then we took a page out of the good old Philadelphia Eagles playbook, the good old tush push. All right. I'm assuming that's legal now. At some point, I thought it was illegal, at least in college football, but I guess in the NFL, if they said it's good. So that was pretty promising to see. Great push up front. Easy on that first down right there. That was very promising to see moving forward. The guy who pushed him, I got to give shout outs to some guys that don't get a lot of love. Lassiter, our fullback, was a great job being physical. We said this earlier in the week. What I thought was going to be necessary to beat Tennessee is not play them at their game. They want to be fast tempo. They want to run as many plays as possible. And I said this is going to be hard for Coach Petrino to essentially do. But I think last week, in the last 2 weeks, Coach Petrino was looking at what's our biggest issue on the field. And I would say the defensive side of the ball. And there's only so much you can do in just 2 weeks of preparation. So the way to help out the defense is not having them on the field, making sure that they get plenty of rest while on the sideline and not just always just wearing them out. And so what do? You go from this big play, Coach Petrino, to a ground and pound, let's eat the clock. The first half alone, we almost had 10 more minutes of time of possession. The second half, it was split even. So I really liked the approach in the first half. Physical football. Look at my fullback getting physical right here. Mike Washington does a great job extending this play, getting more yards after contact. And this is what it usually does. Now you get to a 2nd and 2. Now you have options. And once again, Taylor's in a situation where sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's cold. All this is in the first drive. I think maybe on the road when things get a little loud, he kind of has this time clock in his head. And Taylor, if you're listening, your offensive line this year has done enough to make you feel more comfortable in the pocket. Last year, I give you a pass, okay? I get why you were so antsy of getting out of the pocket. This one, I don't feel like you have to. He had a chance to get all the way to his 3rd progression in this. You see, he takes the snap. He looks over here to his first progression. It's not there. He works the middle of the field, trying to look at that shallow route. It's not there. He even had time to get to the backside. Take a look at the pocket. No one's there. No pressure, okay? This is where I want him to continue to work and get more comfortable, because you see this crossing route, even though he's protected, it's coming in last minute to C.J. Brown, an easy throw and catch for a first down. Now, Taylor ends up picking this up, but I think the less we can have him take some unnecessary hits, the better. And once again, Tennessee's defense is not very good. We're about to play the best front four of the defensive linemen at Texas A&M. It may be the best front four that we see all year. They're fast, they're strong, they're explosive, and they will catch up to Taylor a lot better than Tennessee's defensive line will. Now, we end up getting this first down. He takes a big hit, but I wish he would have stayed in that pocket, trusted his progression, trusted the protection, and get rolling. Now, I'm going to let Grant talk more about this play tomorrow. Great play design, great run by Mike Washington. He did a good job setting up this block for Carmona. But you heard Grant talking about there was a play from Tennessee that he thought was really impressive. It was from number 42. It's plays like this that I was very encouraged to see us do on the other side of the ball. But even though it's Tennessee, and even though I'm a Razorback fan, number 42, I think you're a pretty special player. Take a look at this effort right here. You see him? I got him highlighted. And watch this effort. He kind of stumbles right there, and watch this big boy move. He's moving. Chugga, 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 chugga. Look at that. I mean, if it's not for that right there, Mike Washington scores right here. I think that safety up top started throttling down. Mike Washington is fast as almost anyone on that field, and we're pushing the 15-yard line. That's pretty special effort. So, yes, even in my breakdown of Arkansas, shout out to you, number 42. If you make plays like that, you're going to be playing on Sundays. That was pretty special to see. All right, let's go ahead and get a little bit closer to the red zone. Once again, Tennessee trying to make sure that Taylor doesn't run all over the place. They were really disciplined of trying to contain Taylor. That's where the running backs have to show up in a big way. Mike Washington gets 3 hard yards right there. And the first time Tennessee slipped up, I just got through bragging on you, 42. Now, I don't think this is your fault. I think it's this backer right behind you who's supposed to loop around outside and keep contained. But they both go inside. Taylor did a great job. Great first drive for the offense to get down there and put some points on the board. Big shout out to my tight ends, okay? This play right here, it is called what is this play called? We start on the right. It's not me giving away any stuff. It's like Y peel 43 lead. Okay. And me as a tight end, I like to say I was a physical player. This play right here, I didn't want any piece of, because as soon as you run up here and hit this linebacker, you're going to see about 3 or 4 of everything. And you're going to need somebody to at least give you a break so your sight comes back to at least one image. Okay. So, Platt, I was very impressed. All right. Coach Petrino also said in his conference today, I have to figure out how to get these guys more touches. Okay. This is how you earn it. You got to be physical. He's very excited about Jordan Platt getting in there, being physical, opening that up. And then once again, Mike Washington, man, like I said, I still don't even think we've seen the best of him yet. Because watch this right here. Even though that was a great job by Platt, Cremona struggles with this 3 technique. This should have been a tackle for a loss, but his ability to put his foot in the ground and get vertical, get his knees up right there and make something miss. Very excited to see this guy. Now, I don't know if y'all listen to 103.7 The Buzz. If you don't, I encourage you to. In the Zone from 10 to 1. What is today? Tuesday. So tomorrow we have Caleb. What is today? Monday? Wednesday, we have Mike Washington, who is going to join us. He joins us each and every week around 10:30 on Wednesday. Tune in to 103.7 The Buzz. You will be a huge fan of Mike Washington. Class athlete, his carrier, and you see the talent that he has. Here's another one, a guy that I wish we get more touches to. Now, I know he's getting a little slack right now because of the fumble he had, but Braylon Russell, he's another guy that we got to get the ball to more. Yes, Mr. Russell, I'm saying it again. I think he deserves to get the ball more, okay? I think it, as in your words, is bull and malarkey that he doesn't get more touches, all right? I'm with you. Stop coming after me. Here, and that's what I like, the physicality. We'll talk about that. I really think it's just a football play, and unfortunate, but it is. He is milking this clock, and he's establishing the run game. That's exactly what Coach Petrino wants to do, be balanced. And what that does is open up this midfield action. Look how wide open this is to Omega Blake. Easy throw and catch, right on the money. Another situation right here. We've run this so much. Anytime we have a back in the backfield, you got to think Arkansas was killing them with the run game. Now these linebackers are having to pay attention to it. They don't even look at this guy running wide open. And so when it gets to this situation, I wish we would have did a little bit more of this in the second half and really force them to stop the run, but I really don't think they did for the most part of the game. I was surprised we got away from it because it was so successful in the first half. Once again, wide open, players not even looking at them just because they're so focused on our 2 backs and Talon being a threat as well. All right, let's go ahead and get to this play right here. 3rd and 4, we don't get it. And once again, I'll tell you about this. This game is a game of inches, okay? So Talon right now, this is another situation where every split second matters. I think this is the right read. I think Omega did a great job selling the fade route and then hitting the brakes right here. Talon, the ball needs to be in the air already. And this is next level stuff. If you watch quarterbacks play on Sundays, about 90% of the balls they throw are out of their hand before the receivers even turn around or even get close to a break. I mean, it is impressive, and I don't think sometimes NFL receivers get enough credit to when they turn around, they have to locate the ball because it's right there. They don't see it leave the quarterback's hand. If they do, then it's probably going to be an interception. Ball needs to be out right now. You can see a little slow getting that out, but you see the separation, all right? Sometimes that's all you're going to get, and it's going to be like that against Texas A&M. Now, what he can do is not wait on this ball. Omega, come back downhill and attack this ball. Don't wait on it. But the space is there, and this is actually a really, really good throw just late. I mean, right in his hands. Right in his hands, just a little bit late. Missed the opportunity there. All right, this is another situation where I think Talon did a really good job with his pre-snap reads. It's man-to-man coverage across the board. How do you know that? Look at the single high safety, and the DB show their hand. I wish we could play Tennessee's defense every single week, all right, because they show their hand on almost every single play. Great decision right here to make something special. And I told you sometimes Talon has some plays where I'm just like, what are you thinking? And then he throws these, okay? Great timing, good release. And look at this ball placement. There's nowhere else you can put this ball than right here. Unbelievable catch. Back shoulder Those are Sunday throws. All right. So once again, if we can get Talon just to be on that consistently, I wouldn't even say we don't even need him to go up. If he can just be consistent right here, we win 2 more ball games this year. 2 more. Another one that popped up right here. And after this play, we'll take a quick break. All right. So I love watching film. This play right here, Talon Green does a great job, 3rd and 9. Now, he doesn't have to do all this. Okay. I'm surprised that we didn't have a plan for this. Okay. So, like I said, I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to watching tape and trying to be prepped for this game. So, you remember we had the bye week. Okay. So, what we did last week, we broke down film on Tennessee. Okay. Because we believe Tennessee, what the game against Georgia is something that we could potentially see them try to stop Arkansas with. All right. And so on 3rd down, this is the look that you got from Tennessee. Okay. This is a 0 cover look. That means there's no safety. So it's just man over the top. That's be a big signal of like, whoo, pressure's coming. And the thing about it is with the 0 cover protect, I'll take a look from the end zone angle right here. And I would say for the most part, the offensive line did a really good job picking this up. The person who I think missed right here is Mike Washington, okay? And I'm surprised they missed this and didn't have a plan for this because Tennessee put this on tape. Mike Washington should block this linebacker more than you can block. The person that you want to leave free is the one furthest from Talon. And Talon has to know, if I don't get this ball out right now, I'm going to get hit in the back of the head. But at least he knows it and he knows where it's coming from. And the reason I think they should know that, like I said, I like to watch tape, okay? And so there's that look that you got. Look at it, 3rd and 9, and they're lined up at the sticks, that yellow line. If you go look at that Georgia game, 3rd and 7, and they're lined up at the yellow line against Georgia. Georgia was prepped for this. You can see right here, they did a great job. That backer came and picked up the guy backside, and they let the quarterback know one is coming free, so you better get the ball out quick. And so in situations like this, the best thing you can do, you can't run these long routes and let all these plays try to develop. You don't have time because you got a free guy coming. You have to get the ball out quick. And the thing about it is when you get it out quick, you got plenty of space to make one guy miss. Georgia, they knew exactly what Tennessee wanted to do. And now for that guy to try to tackle this receiver in open space with that much distance between them, it's almost impossible. I mean, receivers nowadays are so quick and shifty. Great play call, great design. This goes for a touchdown at Tennessee. So once again, the distance is what gets me. 3rd and 9 on this one. I would have loved to see Arkansas somewhat do the same thing here. Get that ball into Raylan Sharp's hand, get a lead blocker out there, and all you have to do is make one miss. And if you make one miss, it's a touchdown. So I'm surprised we didn't have something ready for that because you look at all the routes we got developing right now, they're all still looking downfield. The only option is about 6 yards short of the 1st down. That wouldn't have worked. All right. So, but the thing is, we got Superman back there sometimes. Now, Taylor and I got to talk about one thing. You see that ball right there? I need you to take care of this ball. All right. It's not a loaf of bread. All right. I get you. You're feeling like you're in your zone right now, but it's happened enough now where we've lost the ball. Watch this play right here. You think at some point, once you kind of get to a spot, you maybe tuck this thing and start having a little bit better ball security. He's just waving this thing around, okay? So I played a little more because he eventually tucks it. I'm just kidding. He still has that thing out there, all right? So, Taylor, I need you to have a little bit more ball security when you're running away from pressure, okay? Because that look right there of him running like this, it's the same thing that popped up last year in the Missouri game. If you go back and watch, what was it, 3rd or 4th quarter, it was snowing that day. Taylor tried to get out of the pocket, was running around with it like this. Somebody came up, one little soft hit is enough to lodge that ball out. So ball security is going to be a big thing for me, and it's popping up too much on film. And I'm going to tell you these instances that Arkansas overcame and where Taylor, I think, has a lot of room to grow. But we're going to go ahead and take our first break. Don't worry. We'll come back. Much more tape after this. Very excited, though, from what I've seen on tape. But we're about to talk about a few other things that I think if Arkansas can brush up, man, we might have a shot to do something special at the end of the year. But the task does not get any easier because Texas A&M, they're the real deal. We'll be right back after this short break. Let's see what Basil and Roger Scott are up to.
I bet they run the ball right here. Well, you former Razorbacks think you're so smart, don't you? What? Well, if you are so smart, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Wager on the Oakland Sports app. It's the best in-game wagering available in the state. Maybe use that football brain of yours to bet on this next play. Plus your favorite games. It's that easy. Yes! See? You should have took the bet.
Bet on any game all season long with Oakland Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
Hey y'all, this is Cam here at Southwest Ford in Arkadelphia. We just built our brand new 3 facilities here, our GMC, Dodge, and Ford facilities. If you're coming down the highway on I-30, take exit 78. We'll be 1.5 miles down the road. You're gonna look on the right-hand side and you're gonna see our beautiful Chevrolet store. Right past that, you're gonna see our beautiful Dodge store. And at the end, you're gonna see our wonderful Ford store. Our 3 facilities here make it so easy for you to shop here. Whether it's online or in person, we have almost everything you want and need. And if we don't have it, we'll go out and get it for you. If you live somewhere far, north, east, south, or west, we will deliver to you. Free delivery across the whole state. Please come down and come see me at Southwest Auto Ford in Arkadelphia.
Hey, you're not in high school anymore, but that knee still remembers that state championship. And that shoulder, well, it's been off since that game-winning drive. At Ortho Arkansas, they see it all the time. Old injuries that never fully healed, finally sneaking up on us. But here's the good news. It's never too late to get back into the things you love. Whether it's running, lifting, coaching, or just keeping up with your kids, their sports medicine team is there to help you move forward without pain holding you back. Fellowship-trained physicians, personalized recovery plans, care that's built around your goals. Because once an athlete, always an athlete. Ortho Arkansas, for plays that still matter.
One thing that I have always loved about First Friday is watching all the families get together and enjoy themselves with one another.
Culture and heart of Bentonville. You get to see all the people, you get to see all the community, and it's great.
All right, welcome back in. Spot, man. Good people. Great food. I get the wings every time. Best wings in town. Try me if you want to. I mean that. I have them every single time. I like the dry rub, a little ranch. Really good stuff here. All right, let's go ahead and get back to it. Real quick, I want to try something. And so I like hopping into our comments. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try something real quick to try to boost this signal. If you lose me, just give me a minute. All right, I'm going to push this button. Let's see what happens. Y'all ready? Push it. 3, 2. I'm coming back. Am I back? Okay. All right. Whew. I was a little nervous. All right, we're back at it. That should be much better now. Much better now. Also, too, I want to make sure that everybody knows that if anybody is a tech person and y'all can help me out figure out how to get Grant's lips to match up with his voice, that'd be very much appreciated. All right, I don't know what's going on his side of things. We have to get that figured out. All right, now that we got that figured out, appreciate it. The signal should be much better. Thanks for standing by. Let's go ahead and get back into this breakdown. All right. So once again, we left off with Talon Green. Okay. He's in those situations. I'll make this a little bit bigger for everybody right here. Ball security is going to be paramount. All right. So once again, I don't understand why he keeps on rolling out to his left and he acts like there's no pressure there whatsoever. The reason I think this is why I say that is because he's literally running because pressure is coming. It's like as soon as he takes off sometimes, he completely forgets the guy is there. This happened 3 times, 2 of which ended up in a fumble. 1, he got the ball out, but it's so dangerous. I mean, right here, he should feel this pressure. How many times have y'all seen NFL quarterbacks, even college, in these situations, if they're right-handed, they know they can't bring this ball back. They kind of just flip it forward. Patrick Mahomes does it all the time, trying to get that to Mike Washington or just run with it. But you can't rear this thing back knowing that pressure is there. That's happened a few times in Talon's career. And Coach Petrino said it a few times too. I don't know why he keeps doing it. It'd be different if you didn't know the guy was coming, but that's literally why you're running. All right. We got to tighten this up. We can't afford to have these penalties, these huge turnovers. Another situation right there. You're running to get out of the pocket because you feel the pressure. And then it happens again. Now, I think Coach Petrino is trying to give him a pass on this one. And like I said, he does a great job in those press conferences, but that's about as good of a look as you can get. Ball is out of the hand. The arm is not moving forward, and you're bringing it right to where the defender is. Got to have much more situational awareness right here for Talon Green. something he has to work on. The thing about it is, too, I think Talon understands he is special and he has to make dynamic plays in order for the Razorbacks to be competitive each and every week. But sometimes, Talon, you got to just move on and live to fight another day. I think those are two avoidable fumbles. Now, when it comes to the Braylon Russell one, I'm telling you, that was just a really good hit from that player from Tennessee, and I think that just happens. It really does happen a lot. However, it was after that fumble. I don't know if I can speak for every Razorback fan, but the way the momentum was going, I said to myself and I said to Grant, and we both looked at each other like, here we go again. All right. We thought the wheels were about to fall off. We thought it was all going to go downhill. But here on this 3rd and 9, it started happening. Okay. I think everybody started to realize watching this game, and I'll just let this play out, of like, okay, I was kind of used to a team kind of giving up and maybe quitting a little bit. But then you start seeing plays like this, great offensive line play, great running plays. Taylor right here, understanding pressure, don't throw it again. Let me go and learn from these mistakes. Takes a big shot. Guy as a little targeting thing, and then he gets up, keeps moving, and then we go down and score a touchdown. We're like, okay, I see some fight in these Hogs. And then you get it again, 4th quarter with less than 5 minutes to go. You got to have it. Talon standing in the pocket, just throwing. He's on time. In these situations here, this is what's wild. I think it's to the point now where they say, hey, we just got to play. Just go out there and play football. That's when Talon's at his best. Everything's just coming natural. It's all reaction. When he starts overthinking, it just falls apart. The way he's being a field general right here, moving the ball. Look at this. He wants to run, plants his feet, and throws a strike in the end zone. That was really, really cool to see. And I think a lot of Razorback fans in that moment went from being like, oh, crap, here we go again, to like ooh, okay. I talked about it with the boys. You ain't finna get no moral victory from me. It ain't in my blood. But Grant and I were talking. If there was a good description of what one might look like, it may look a little bit like what we just saw. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it sure looked like it. Or at least I can maybe see what people are coming from. You have to be very excited about the fight at the end of the game. Now, Coach Petrino, coming out of halftime, I don't know what it is we got to do to get it figured out. We have to figure out how to have a better 3rd quarter. It's been killing us. Can't play from behind all the time. I don't get what is happening out of that locker room. They have to get that addressed. No pass on that. But really like the way we finished the game. Defensive side of the ball. I'm going to let Matt dig a little bit more into the defense because that is his thing, and he has a lot to talk about. We could show a few plays where we're just like, oh, I really hate that. But for the most part, this is what we said. On the road, after not just your head coach gets fired, but almost your whole defensive staff gets fired, okay? The guys that you trusted, lean on, everything, okay? And then you're going on the road, 100,000+ people, Tennessee playing with the chip on the shoulder because you beat them last year off of a bye week and messed up their season. And you play the number 1 offense in America, averaging 51 points a game. And I think these 2 drives right here are special. Yes, Tennessee scored 34, but you got to think we gave them 3 extra possessions. Tennessee should have scored a lot more. So defense at times, I was like, what are you doing? Still got tackling issues, but they did give the offense something to work with. This is after Taylor Green's first fumble. And look at Quincy Rhodes coming off the ball right here, being explosive, creating a mess, creating chaos. Does a great job right there. So I like Quincy Rhodes' get off. He had a lot of plays like that. Let's get to a 2nd and 6. Once again, a little bit more pressure in the pocket. Great coverage downfield. Sun probably helped us out a little bit right here. And then I'm going to get to this one right here. Okay, so this is what matters. When I went back and watched tape on Tennessee of all these great throws by Joey Aguilar, he had no one in his face. He was sitting there straight up and down all the time in the world, and he was throwing dimes. A little bit of pressure in his face. He can feel that. He can feel it. It affects everything. Great job, because we needed it. He overthrows him right here. We needed that pressure in his face. And now I will say this, Connie Walker, you're another guy I need to tighten up a little bit. All right. Just because that guy slows down, I don't need you to slow down either. We got away with one right there, but I do like the pressure in the face with some defense coming. Now, this is the fumble. Like I said, that's just a football play. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that so nobody comes after me. But Braylon, I hope you keep running hard. Don't let that one get to you. Y'all remember after this play, I thought Braylon was hurt. because he had his head down and he started beating the ground. You could tell like he was so mad. I don't know if y'all knew this. So Braylon Russell in his career at Arkansas, over 100 something carries. I can't remember exact number what it is. That was his first fumble ever in his career, right there. The first time he ever lost the ball was right there. And you can tell he hated it, hated it, hated it. It was just that guy from Tennessee put that helmet right on it. That's just football. However, Tennessee gets the ball. The very next play, defense gets out on the field. Quincy Rhodes again. Look at this explosion. Boom. He's moving big man back 4 yards. Quincy, like I said, I challenged you before the season started because I think you are special and you have all the attributes to do something big at the next level. But I was worried about your motor, okay? And I'm going to give a big shout out to you, man. I've seen it on tape. And the thing about it is I'm very nitpicky. Now, I'm going to give you just a little praise, but I'm going to tell you, I need more of this. And the reason I say that is because I'm a big Razorback fan. And when you play like this, it helps everyone else out there on that football field. So keep this up, man. Be an issue to deal with up front. Great explosion right there. Then you get to another play right here. Sorry, I need you to be a little bit better. All right. Now, you started playing really good in the run game. I think our linebackers led the team in tackles. Between Steven Dix and Sorey, 20 tackles, so you have to like that. And it's funny because, we've been on Sorey all year. And then we started saying he has to be hurt. He has to be hurt. And then after that Memphis game, Coach Pittman came out and said, Sorey's healthy. We've talked about it. He's good to go. He's 100%. And then our criticism went from like, hey, get him off the field if he's injured to what are we doing, Xavier and Sorey? I don't know if y'all caught this. There was a little contradictory statement, and Coach Petrino was talking about Sorey today in the press conference, and he said that's the first game he played healthy. And I was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, who's lying to who? I don't know. All right, so I think Coach P keeps it a little bit more real. And by P, I mean Petrino, okay? And so if that's the case, man, I really hate that we had him on the field playing a step slow. So he said that week, the second week in the bye week was the first week that he saw Sorey finally 100% healthy and playing fast, okay? So hopefully we get things picked up. We did have a little slack right here. You got to get back in this coverage, and they end up missing this tight end right over the middle of the field. It would have been way more than a first down. We would have had to rely on our safety to get that tackle. However, once again, pressure in his face. Pressure in his face. Make him feel it. He wasn't used to seeing this all year. That's why Tennessee's offensive numbers were so high and through the roof. You got to like that pressure coming. Ends up great defense right there. And once again, this is the third down on that play. Great job on this crossing route, staying with it. Talk about finishing plays. Caleb Wooden came in. Mike Washington came in and said all week in practice, they shifted things up. And they said they put their hardest periods of practice at the end of practice. And everybody's like, this sucks. It's awful. I'm tired. But Coach Petrino is just conditioning them to play at the end of the game full speed. Great job trailing this tight end. And the thing about it is, once again, game of inches. I mean, he puts a fingernail on this ball. A fingernail. I'm glad he didn't cut him before the game, all right? And that messes it up just a little bit to where the tight end can't catch it. So that was very promising to see. So, like I said, Matt Harris is going to dig a little bit more into the defense. Now, I gave them a lot of praise, but I'm also going to keep it a stack too. The first half, a couple of those drives, poor tackling. It continues to be an issue that we have to address, even though they did do much better. I think they had 12 missed tackles. Tennessee had 19. And now I say 12, you're like, 12? That is astronomically better than what they've done all year. So they're playing around faster. They're getting into a groove. You have to at least like the direction that this program is going. Not a moral victory. Don't get my words twisted. We still got to figure out a way to win these ball games, and it's not going to get any easier. I promise you that. So real quick, I always want people to be a part of the show. We started just a little bit late with the technical difficulty, so I may have to put a couple of these breaks together. So we're going to have one more break. Got to give a shout out to our sponsors for making all this happen. Also, too, man, when we travel now on the road, I want to give a big shout out to everybody. Y'all all come up. I'm starting to see some 4th and 5 merch. I'm starting to see the swag out there. Very complimentary of what we're trying to accomplish here at 4th and 5. Also, too, we got another partnership that we are going to launch here soon, showing some love to high school football. So I don't know if y'all have kept up. I've been traveling the state. So big shout out to Southwest Auto for letting me put miles on their car. All right. So that's big time. But it allows me to go out and see these recruits in person. That's what I want to see. I want to sit down with these guys. And I really think Danny Bill, the number 1 player in the state, I know he's committed to Oklahoma State, but he really loves that defensive line coach at Oklahoma State. But I said, Danny, he's not going to be there next year. I think Arkansas has a shot if they come in there and really make this guy feel at home. I didn't put it in the interview, but he said something about when he went to Oklahoma State. He said the way that the visit was done and all this, he said it kind of felt like home. He said he kind of missed that at Arkansas. Okay, so I think we got another shot to get him back up on campus and get a homegrown talent who could be a difference maker up on the hill from a small two-way school out in Cross County. I was out there battling big mosquitoes and stuff. It was wild, but it was very special. But in the process of doing this, I've seen so many high school players in person. So what we're going to do now, each and every week, we let people vote on the high school player of the week, and that's voted on by the fans, right? But we at 4th and 5 are selecting our high school player of the month. And I'll go ahead and say who it is. There's this kid out in Greenbrier. His name is Enoch Hassan. All right. This dude, maybe about this tall. And I've been hearing hype about him. I said, what is so special about this guy? This guy, 4 games now, he's had over 340 rushing yards. 4 games. He does not like to go down. He works hard. He pushes his teammates. And he always says, I know I don't have any stars. I know I'm not ranked, but I want everything and anyone who wants to step up and try to stop me. He invites the competition. So he's going to be our player of the month. And thanks to Enoch Hassan, we're going to feed the whole team tomorrow at Greenbrier. So that's a really cool element that I think our partners are going to be a part of helping out these high school teams. And you know me, I'm kind of low-key recruiting these guys on the side. All right, so Razorbacks, I'm telling you right now, take a little bit closer look to these guys because I'm driving to some dudes that I think could really be a good asset to our program moving forward. We need to go talk to Danny Bill like tomorrow. Head on out there. All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, I'm joined by the man himself. Zach Gillum is here. Also, too, big shout out to my girlfriend, Ebony Mitchell. Monday Night Football, she is low-key turned into the parlay queen. All right, she puts the most ridiculous parlays together, and we all make fun of her. And then they all end up hitting, okay? So we're going to talk about what parlay she has on the board here tonight. Might win you some money, but we got to get to it because kickoff is here in less than 30 minutes. So we'll be right back after this break with Zach Gillum from Oaklawn.
Okay. I got my bet in on the next drive. Y'all? Yep. Whoever loses picks up the tab.
You know, this Oaklawn Sports betting app is so fun to use, it might actually make watching these games with y'all bearable.
Big talk coming from a fella about to lose this wager.
Just need a field goal here and you'll be cooked, my friend. Remember our friendly wager.
And it's good.
Bet on any game all season long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
This is humiliating.
At Ortho Arkansas, we know that Friday night sports injuries can't always wait until Monday morning. That's why our fellowship-trained sports medicine team opens our Saturday morning sports injury clinic every weekend during football season. With on-site x-rays, on-site MRIs, same-day evaluations, we can get the diagnosis for our athletes immediately so you know you get the right care at the right time. Our goal for our athletes is a safe recovery and a strong return to play. Saturday Sports Clinic, only at Ortho Arkansas.
Southwest Auto Collection in Arkadelphia isn't just another car lot. It's a whole new way to buy a vehicle. Built for comfort, designed for convenience. No pushy sales, just friendly faces, honest answers, and a place that feels more like home than a dealership. Because buying a car shouldn't feel stressful, it should feel simple. One of the biggest perks to buying here at Southwest Auto Collection is we have a Tires for Life program. So as long as you get your service done here, we'll replace your tires completely for free with regular wear and tear up to 200,000 miles. So come on down to see us at 1451 North 10th Street in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Southwest Auto Collection, a better way to buy, right here in Arkadelphia.
Start your day with Roger Scott, David Basil, and country music star Justin Moore. The Zone with award-winning journalist Justin Acree and former Hog DJ Williams. Afternoons with Out of Bounds, hosted by Wes Moore and Joe Franklin. And on your way home, it's Drive Time Sports with Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaefer. 103.7 The Buzz is your fun and game station. Live and local all day. 103.7 The Buzz.
Football season is back, and 4th and 5 is ready to give you the best coverage that you can find when it comes to Razorback football. At home games, we're going to be live 2 hours before kickoff at the Alumni House. Everything from breakdown, strategy, taking a look at the analysis for the weeks before, even taking a look into the opponents that we're playing as well. So many questions surrounding each and every moment of the game. 4th and 5 is going to be your one-stop shop to have you covered. Also, too, make sure you join us in all of our live shows. Monday night with that breakdown live from Oaklawn at the Mainline Sports Bar. Wednesday night viewer comments. And then Friday night, we're going to pick our high school game of the week. And then, once again, circle it back around to Razorback football. The thing that separates us is we call it how we see it. Not mean, just fair and honest. Make sure you subscribe on all of our social media platforms and be a part of this growing community. 4th and 5, keeping it real, calling it like we see it. No. 4th and 5, giving you everything you need when it comes to Razorback football, but keeping it honest. No, that's not good either. 4th and 5, the state's best. Oh, no, not there yet. We're working on it. 4th and 5, your go-to channel for your... You know what? We'll cross that bridge later. Can y'all just subscribe, and we'll figure out the tagline later. All right. See y'all later. Welcome on back. We are about to wrap up this show. Monday Night Football right around the corner. Less than 30 minutes away from kickoff. I'm telling you right now, if you want to play the game within the game, Oaklawn's the place to do it. Before we get to Zach talking about what is going on over that Oaklawn, Zach, I got to tell you about my friends that get me from point A to point B. I talked about Southwest Auto. They're in Arkadelphia, right down the street. All right, right now you can save up to $25,000 off MSRP if this slick ride right here, the 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona. They got us in a black 2025 Expedition. Like I said, I've been traveling around the whole state. I'm about to swap it out and get something new. But once again, if you want to learn more information, all you have to do is hit up iDriveSWA.com. You can see the whole list and lineup of all the cars they got to offer. Amazing deals, amazing prices, and even better people. Big shout out to Southwest Auto for getting us from point A to point B. That being said, let's go ahead and move along. I got Zach Gillum here with Oaklawn. A lot to talk about. Monday Night Football on the board. Before we kind of get into that, I'm always curious to see if we have some momentum moving forward to the Arkansas A&M game. Can we take a quick look? What's on? Is that number already out? Oh, man. Is that a flag? Oh, no. David, you may have to do the decibel thing. You know what I'm talking about? Go to mic 2. Boom. Wait, it's not me. I plugged you up, right? No, I got you. Oh, my goodness. I'm looking. No, you're good. You're good.
Good. Oh, here we go.
There it is. There it is.
Power.
Look at that. A month ago, we wouldn't be able to figure that out that quick.
Hey, man,
all
we're
right,
making
so
progress.
it is big-time progress. Appreciate that. So, yeah, anything on the board or quick for the Arkansas A&M game?
There is. There's actually a lot of all the college lines are up on the board. Arkansas right now, dogs by 7.5 points. So
7.5?
7.5.
Surprising.
Touchdown.
Okay.
There's a few surprising lines on the board this weekend. That's not the only one, and they're all in the SEC that kind of have caught me off guard. The other ones I'm thinking about, Vanderbilt. They're 2.5-point favorites over LSU. Now, this is This is at Vandy, but Vandy's a 2.5-point favorite over a number 10 ranked LSU.
Wow.
Have we ever said that? I don't think we have. And then Georgia, they're favored by over a touchdown, again, at home, but they're facing Ole Miss, so the 5th-ranked team in the country. Georgia, number 9 right now, favored by over a touchdown.
Dude, SEC is wild right now.
Yeah.
Wild in the SEC. College football is wild. I bet it was wild from your end. I mean, Oregon losing, Penn State losing Northwestern. I mean, what a time to if you have a niche about something, this would be the time to hop on. So before we take a look on the board, what's happening in the NFL here tonight, real quick, if they want to be a part of the action, how do they go about downloading the app?
Yeah, so you can download the app. It is available in the Apple Play Store, the Google Play Store. Desktop users join in on the fun. All you have to do is install a little plugin that will pop up for you. And then new users, up to $1,000 in bonus bets. No promo code is needed. All you have to do is register, make a deposit. You're automatically offered or active in that offer. And that runs over your first 10 days. So very easy to use. And a lot of fun stuff on there. The other one I didn't mention, we just faced Tennessee. Obviously, Alabama, a 9-point favorite over Tennessee. So maybe a little
Feel
more.
good about that.
I was thinking it was going to be right around
yeah.
a touchdown, 7.5. So getting closer to that 10.
All right, here we go. Let's go and take a look at what is on the board for a little Monday Night Football action. This game already underway as we speak. It is currently 7-7 with about a minute to go in the first quarter. But it started off with the Bills, a 3.5-point favorite. The thing about it is, too, you can bet while the game is actively going on, right? So has that shifted since things started?
So if you were backing the Bills, you might as well jump back in. They are now 2.5-point favorites. So that line's moved just a point. But that's because time has gone on. They are tied. They're almost through that first quarter. And then the total at 57. And it's not just the spread and see just back to 3. So that's how fast it can move when you're looking at this in-game action. You really want to dive in, spot the line when you like it, and then make that wager. But you still have touchdown score, player passing, rushing, receiving. So the player props are still available while the game's being played as well.
The other game that starts at 7:15 here tonight, the Bears still suck. And you got the Commanders over there at Washington. It's a Green Bay thing, babe. Sorry. We just don't roll with the Bears. All right. That's how we roll. But let's go and take a look at, is this changed since we made this graphic this morning?
So this is still the same. Commanders -5.5. That is where most of the action we have seen is coming in, about 75%, I would say, on the Commanders. Total in this one at 49. We get Jaden Daniels back, and he's healthy. So, or at least they're saying he's healthy. So we'll see how that flows. But
Are they lying to us?
Yeah, you never know anymore. But just like with the live action, in pre-match, there's even more options in terms of player props. You have the touchdown scoring markets. One of the most popular things lately have been parlaying those same game touchdown players. So, I mean, that's a lot of fun to do. I know you hit a great parlay over the weekend.
Oh, man, I won some people some money this weekend, y'all. I did. I had people send me screenshots saying, thank you, DJ. I said, no problem. No problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Easy, right?
Good little player prop parlay at the Arkansas game. So I was very excited about that. Player props is the fun part. And speaking of that, let's go and take a look at some player props for this game between the Bears and the Chargers. Go ahead and walk through this right now for some people.
Yeah, so looking at this, the few options we have listed on the board, and keep in mind there are hundreds of markets available each one of these games. Right now we're looking at total team TDs.
Yep.
So for the Bears, 2.5, for Washington, 3.5. And you can see the odds are different on either one of those as well. No surprise, Washington being favored, they're going to be expected to score more touchdowns. So that's why you see their number higher. But you're also getting better odds on that over at +150. Diving down into the total team points. So this is looking at specifically each team. So you have a total in the game we mentioned that's at 49. So for Chicago, you have it at 22.5. For Washington, you have it at 27.5. And you're probably going, well, that doesn't add up to 49. Pretty close, but no, you will see those fluctuate. That's why the total goes up and down. But just like with the total, you can actually go move these around as you get closer to game. So if you want to take them up or down a point, you can. And then total successful field goals. So this is something that's fun. You're just wagering on the kickers. We all know everyone loves the kickers out there. And this is for both teams. So total successful field goals, 3.5 or more. So if there are 4 kicked in the game, you hit this. The over -104. That means you lay $104 to profit 100.
So a lot of people think nowadays my girlfriend's a big football fan because all she does on Sundays, locked in on the TV. I've never seen anything like it. And it's more of her keeping up with her bets. So she needs to see it all unfold. She refuses to watch it happen on her phone. She needs to see it happen in person or on the TV. So the thing she likes to do is the player props, individual players' performances. She will go and look at research now. I was sitting on the couch today. She says, babe, do you know what targets are? I said, yes, I'm aware what targets are. Okay. She says, I've been looking at this wrong the whole way. I've been looking at their yards or whatever. I need to go and look and see how many times they're being targeted because sometimes the game is a fluke. I said, you do you, boo. You do you. That's what you want to do. Let's go and take a look at some player props. What do you got?
Yeah, and she was over there quizzing me. She was like, hey, did you watch this game this weekend? Did you see this game? And I was like, I'll be honest, I missed that one. I didn't see it. But no, player props, they really are probably the highest growing or the fastest growing markets within sports wagering. Football being the king down in the South and most places in the country. That's where you're seeing people really dive in. So right here, we have player props for Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. These are their passing yards. And you see it at 225 plus. And those odds being different. So this is what we call a ladder option. You're going to be able to choose multiple of these. The odds will fluctuate, but you have multiple options going up to maybe 300, 350. And at 225 plus, you're just looking at them to get either 225 yards or more in that passing. You would hit that.
Yep.
Now, looking at the next, we have Some receiving props, 70 plus. And you can see these odds, again, vary. You have one at minus 107. Debo's over at plus 135. So Debo reading the odds is less likely, according to the odds makers, to get that 70 plus. And then at 60 plus, this is the rushing yards. We have Swift and Merritt. And again, big fluctuation in these odds. So you do not expect, at least based on these odds, for Swift to have 60 plus yards, but for Merritt, you do. And if you disagree with them, that's when you can dive in. The ladder options are fun because if you say, hey, you have this market way wrong, I think Swift's going to have 80 yards, you're going to have the option to jump up into that.
All right, come on, babe. Let me see it. All right, let's go over. Here goes the parlay queen. Let me see your phone. Let me see what we put together here tonight. So we did this last time, and we kind of gave her a hard time. And then she won. Then she posted the video. All right, receipt. So this is for the Bears-Commanders game, right? I'm curious if they have changed since he's done this. You want to plug this in as we go?
We can plug this in as we go.
All right, so she wants 225 plus passing and rushing yards by a player. She thinks Jaden Daniels will get that. Okay. Caleb Williams, 200 plus passing and rushing yards by Caleb Williams. She thinks Deebo Samuel will score a touchdown tonight. She also thinks that he'll have 30 plus receiving yards. All right. You're wild, babe. DJ Moore, 20 plus receiving yards. Pretty safe, right? Maybe. And then Adunze, am I saying that right? Anytime touchdown score. Yes. All right, let's lock this in.
We had Debo is another touchdown scorer.
Yep. Sorry, babe. We're going to see if we're going to win some people some money tonight, all right?
So looking at this one, just to confirm, we have 6-way, same game parlay.
Yep.
We have plus 850.
Wow. So when she put this in, it was plus 800. So now you can get more.
Better.
Yeah. She's like, dang it. I should have waited. You
can double down.
All right. So she's locked in right now at her point. When it was plus 800, she bet $10. If she wins, it'll be a $90 thing. So each time we have done this live during our show, she has hit this parlay. All right. So we're going to see if third time is a charm. All right.
And 2 weeks ago, I think it was 40 to 1. God. So, I mean, this is 8.5 to 1. This is a lot more likely based on the odds. And one of the things I love that she's doing, and something I like to do too, especially, it's just like when people bet the total and they're not wanting to bet on a team.
Yeah.
When you're betting on players from both sides, you're always excited when the team's on offense. You're not ever kind of like, I'm not going to pay attention. My team's not on the field. If you have players from both sides, you're always zoned in on that offensive play.
Locked in. Some people, my nephew had a big parlay going, and all he needed was...
I see him shaking his head over there.
What's his name again?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. He needed Justin Fields. He had, 45 passing yards? It was the worst performance in NFL program history, what the Giants did, or the Jets did. It's pretty wild. Real quick, you see some comments coming in. Val Powell lost a bet because she needed... Braylon Russell to get one touchdown. That was ours.
Yeah, y'all were 3 out of 4.
That was ours.
In fact, Matt originally was leaning towards Washington. That would have cashed, and that was about 10 to 1.
It hurt my soul when we got to the 1 yard line and I didn't see him in the huddle. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
Put him in. Some bull in. You know what? All right. So Zach, stay with me. Like I said, we're tight on time, so we're gonna brush this up. I wanted to give a little preview of A&M. You got that cooked up for me, David. So what do we got on tap moving forward? So A&M, once again, very excited about this game. Are you going up to the game this weekend? You have a shot?
I will not be there this weekend.
Oh, man.
I've been on the road so much.
I understand. Take a second. This is what we are up against here. Offensively, they're about 265 yards per game, and they're averaging almost 200 yards per game on the ground, 26 total touchdowns. Also, with them on the defensive side of the ball, they're only giving up 191. Y'all, their defense is not too bad, averaging 100 rushing yards. So we're going to see what Coach Petrino has cooked up for him. Only 15 touchdowns allowed this year. Yikes. All right, what else we got over there? So this is who we need to look out with. This is who Coach Petrino talked about. I'm sure he'll have a player prop when kickoff comes around. 12 passing touchdowns, only 4 picks on the year. Not crazy dynamic when it comes to the stats, but very efficient with running the ball as well. 60% completion rate. You have to take a look at this guy. 70 carries, 389 rushing yards, about 64 per game, 6 rushing touchdowns. So it seems like they do this by committee. You know, they're going to be a defensive-led team. That's what we have to be on the lookout for as far as this Texas A&M team is concerned. So, and also when it comes to a pass catcher, our DBs need to be aware. We got a guy with 32 catches on the year, 4 touchdowns, 19 yards per catch. He's averaging about 100 yards for the game. So this is going to be the one guy we have to key in on, Mario Craver over there at Texas A&M. But, you know, their weapons really lay on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm pumped up for that. Zach, thanks for hanging out with us. We're about to go and wrap this up so we can go ahead and get Monday Night Football cranked up and going. Also, big shout out to all of our subscribers. The best way to support us each and every week is head on over to the good old YouTube page. Hit that button. All right. We look at our analytics, Zach. We got a lot of people watching, but they don't push the button. You see that little button right there? Just push the button. That's the best way to support 4th and 5, and we keep this thing rolling. But it's been a fun ride, fun journey. Appreciate everybody that's been watching us each and every week. Zach, I appreciate you. We're about to go ahead and wrap this thing up here at the Mainline Sports Bar here at Oaklawn. Always having a good time. We're about to watch a little Monday Night Football. Y'all better get your bets in, not now, but right now. Appreciate y'all watching.